Hello, hello, the doc is in, and welcome back to another chapter of One Punch Man. And holy, I don't even know what to say. This is the doctor. Hi, name's the doctor. Sometimes I cover One Punch Man or whatever. And we got a redraw this week. I was kind of surprised. I thought we were getting a chapter. I don't think we're getting a chapter now, but yeah, we got a redraw. And usually we have redraws for like relatively minor stuff to like get certain characters in certain places. Maybe just change the way somebody got finished off with like Orochi recently, etc. Stuff like that. We got a redraw for literally the last chapter, 164, Balmo Fist that turned against God. You know, we have the whole big transformation, you get the 4 arms and everything, blah 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 blah. Right? We end the chapter off with what basically amounts to psychology sessions with Saitama, which I thought was hilarious and amazing. But changes in the chapter, big changes. Alright? I don't know if we had Murata writing the original chapter, and then we had one writing the secondary chapter, or what made the reverse way. I don't know. But let's just hop right into the chapter, because when I say there were major changes with major developments, I am not joking. I'm not exaggerating or anything. That is quite literally what just happened. And let's begin. So chapter starts off same stuff. We got pig god. He's in the water. Everybody thinks it's a corpse. Not a corpse. Boom. Yeah. The next panel is first change. So we see GAROU grow his forearms. Originally, it's kind of like we see him punching, and then he stops punching, and then we see his forearms. But this time, we see him grow the forearms. Then, he gets to punching. He's punching at Saitama. Saitama's dodging at first, and we get a little thought bubble of GAROU being like, oh, you know, I'm supposed to be absolute evil, whatever. And another change we have, instead of Saitama kind of just dodging the punches, then eventually GAROU stops punching, we have Saitama going out of his way to deflect all the fists, and he does it all with one hand, as GAROU points out, and this like makes him mad and everything. He's like, you know, I gotta hold on to his anger and this despair I feel. That's how he's getting all his power boosts and everything. And we have him being pointed out, like, you know, those acts of kindness he had, and like those people showing gratitude to him for helping them out. It made his evilness waver, which makes sense. It's logical. Deep down, GAROU's a good person, but you know, he's kind of like on a weird, edgy path about it. So he's like, I'll become the ultimate evil to be the ultimate good, blah 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 blah. And so after we get this like mini flashback section, then we get the section where he grabs Saitama and uses his arms as like the jet. So we don't get like the jet scene where he like makes the pose and then does it. We kind of just get him powering up his back arms into like with the energy, and then he just grabs Saitama. He's throwing him into the planet, and he's like kind of yelling at him. He's kind of pointing out that Saitama was making fun of him and kind of like belittling him for, you know, having the people, you know, be saved by him and then thank him and everything, whatever. Like I said, edgy stuff from GAROU. This is par for the course. And so we get the extreme power attack, but they changed the name this time, so it's called Extreme Fa Jin, which if you watch or read, more so read My Hero Academia, they have like one of the powers is Fa Jin and whatever. So yeah, we have that, and you get the whole mountain getting pushed in part, you know, the usuals. You got the shockwave going on to the other side of the planet. Airplane stuff is the same. Temple coming out. Oh, also, thing I didn't catch in the last time. So it's not like he moved. Well, he did move the planet in a weird way, but a temple came up. Did not notice that. So a temple comes up, and that's what the people fall on. The ones who like fall off early off come off early from the plane. So after we have the airplane section, we have another major change. So we have the section where Blast and Co. We don't actually know it's Blast this time, because we actually don't see him this time around. But we have what we can only assume is the Galactic Federation, well, Dimensional Federation for that matter, talking about how, you know, there's a lot of gravity going on the planet, and, you know, spatial blah blah blah. We gotta stop God from getting out, whatever. So they say they're gonna stop that guy from getting out, whatever. But we don't see anyone. We don't see Blast. We don't know who that is, but we have to assume it's Dimensional Galactic Federation Inco. From there, we go back to the fight with Garou and Saitama. Again, it goes the way it's supposed to. So we have Saitama busting out consecutive normal punches against Garou, and Garou cannot handle it. And instead of getting the spiral out of the cave, you basically have Saitama hitting him with a bunch of hits, and he just goes flying. And he's getting hit with all the punches from Saitama, and he's like, Saitama's obviously keeping up with Garou. And so you have, all the X's out on what the things he's supposed to do. And he's just like, how am I supposed to beat this guy? And then we get the legendary, the abominable fist that turned against God isn't me, but it's Saitama. And he gets like the punch on the face, and then set flying, goes to the mountains, same as usual. Skips on the water, ends up in the water, lying down. Now, this is where the chapter takes. Before, a couple of changes, like, we don't really want to deal with all that stuff so early about Blast. Okay, cool. Just show more about the arms, maybe focus a little bit more on like the emotional aspects between Garou, like the fight or flight. I mean, not fight or flight, but good or evil side. Don't lean too heavily into the idea like he's super evil, but secretly he's really good and like easily changed his mind and stuff. So from there, right, we have him laying in the water. Talking about Garou. Saitama shows up, right? So we get like a really dark, relatively dark, serious image of Saitama, right? Basically Garou's perspective on him. He basically points out like, Saitama is like the embodiment of unfairness. And it's like, Garou kind of gets up and he's like, I can't let myself lose to him because he's like, his whole thing is like he's fighting unfairness. Makes sense. And of course Saitama's like, get that shit out of here, and sends him flying into the air. We see Garou's monster body breaking apart, and we see Garou just fall out of his monster body. I'm like, hey, yo. And so Garou at this point, like in his head, he's kind of like giving up. He's just like, I can't be unfairness, whatever. And this is where the chapter literally goes from taking a left to being like, this is a submarine now. Now we're just going down. This is a completely different direction, alright? We were working on the x-axis. We're messing with z now. Alright, we skip y. Forget y. No up and down, just z. We're skipping dimensions right now, because I can hear you. We see a picture of the moon, and we know what the moon means. Moon man means God boy. And so from there, we have Saitama likely either hearing and or noticing like something weird is going on, and cut away from that. We cut back to the heroes and basically got like a little mini reunion. They point out how Pig God somehow fit multiple full humans, some of them being way larger than regular people, in his stomach, yet still wasn't the full size of all those people, yet somehow regurgitated all of them. I don't know. Thank you, Murata and One, for not showing us that, but I am just very curious. Like, some dark part of my brain is like, what's going on over there? But neither here nor there, right? So we got everybody talking amongst each other. We got Tank Top Master talking to everybody else, whatever. And they turn around. Alright, they turn around. And we see another wild panel. Just crazy panel. The moon. Top. Giant tornado cloud structure thing. Alright. You can really get me to believe that is a super advanced palace of some form. And it's just apparently clouds. And there's a giant flash of light followed by what can only be described as God's foot. God said, I'm the biggest stepper there ever was. Got lightning bolts splashing into the water. I'm going crazy. And we have 2 giant steps taken. Everybody who's a regular citizen watching this literally has to have it. Like, I don't even know. Like, if I saw that in real life, literally, I don't know, I just lost my mind. I I'm reading this in a manga. I know this isn't real, and I'm losing my mind because that's crazy. All right. And so we got this stuff going on with the clouds. Now, what can only be described as basically God is, I don't even know if he's astral projecting. He's doing something, and he walks over to Garou's like flying body after he got punched away by Saitama. And Saitama obviously he's looking at all this stuff. He's like, it's a weird thunderstorm. I didn't know it was supposed to rain today. I'm like, what? And anyway, so there was multiple theories about how would the fight continue with Garou. You know, if Garou was defeated by Saitama, maybe we might have like a round 2 type thing going on. Let's just say the theories were accurate. So basically, the rest of the chapter goes like this. God is talking to Garou. Garou has pretty much accepted defeat at this point, as we heard with him basically like, I can't beat unfairness. It's just not gonna happen. God comes in. He's basically like encouraging Garou to get back up. He's like, you're supposed to be the fist that's supposed to defeat the fist that turn against God and need help, whatever. And Garou is basically like, I'm not working with you. Who are you talking to me? And then God shows up as Bang in Garou's mind, obviously in similar way to how Tatsumaki, while they try to use blast to try to trick Tatsumaki to gain God's power. Use Bang to try to trick Garou into taking his power. And obviously, Garou's at his lowest right now, so he sees blast, sees Bang coming to help him. And so God puts out his hand, or Bang for that matter, but God puts out his hand, and Garou's like, screw, old man, you never let me astray. He takes his hand, and oh my god, this panel, just the God flesh thing, whatever you want to call it, just appears in the sky. It's just giant in comparison to Garou. And then it's Saitama looking up in the sky that's completely dark. And then Garou falls out of the sky like a meteorite. And Saitama's confused. He's like, oh, costume change? I'm like, bro, what do you mean costume change? This ain't a costume. Stop. And then Garou, after Saitama says all that, originally Garou's like hunched over. He stands up. He looks Saitama in the face with his space body, galaxy body, or I was gonna say galaxy brain, but forget the brain. There's a galaxy on him. The galaxy is what you can see. There is literally a whole solar system on his right pectoral muscle. What are you trying to discuss with me? I can't process. And so from there we got Saitama. I can't with Saitama sometimes. Sometimes I can't with him. I'm losing my mind, and he's over here acting like nothing's happened. Alright, I don't know. But yeah, Saitama's just like, oh, what happened to your face? And Garou is basically like, how do I defeat the fist that turned against God? Obviously, with the fist of God. And I'm like, I kind of like the fist against God, but on the other hand, that's kind of drippy. The fist of God, that's pretty holy. I can't cap. It's pretty drip. And so obviously, Garou doesn't even have a mouth at this time. So he's gonna like telepathically, he's like talking in the air. I guess everybody's talking in the air, but his voice is coming from, he has like surround sound on his voice. Alright, when you gain so much power, eventually you upgrade from speaker sound to surround sound. So like literally the earth itself is talking for you. Alright? And so Saitama's like, oh, he sounds like he's coming from a bathroom. You should like pick up your call and then call again. I can't really hear you that well. like, Saitama, no! But anyway, so Garou goes on the attack, alright? And his new name is Awakened Garou Cosmic Beer Mode. Drip. I can't lose my mind again because I've already been losing my mind this whole like last section of the video, but Drip. That's a drippy name. That's a drippy name. That's Clout. That's Drip. That's Gucci. That's Louis. That's better than anything. That's Cosmic Drip. Cosmic. And that is the end of the redrawn chapter. Great chapter. 10 out of 10. That is a solid chapter to say the least. With this new direction, okay, so I would say, in a sense, we're back in line with what I would have originally assumed we were going by the time we get like maybe a chapter or two going into it. So originally my thought process was with therapist Saitama, we would, you know, have a moment where we kind of discuss with Garou. Either it's going to be difficult or may go along with what Saitama's saying, but whichever way it was going to go, likely what I thought would happen was that some way, somehow, God gets in touch with Garou when Saitama's not near him, and Garou would accept the blessing of God for one reason or another, and then from there we would get into, I didn't assume it would look like this, but in essence this upgraded form of Garou, and that would be like the main fight section, and then we could get all like the crazy feats and the fighting and all the regular stuff that we're supposed to get, and then so on and so forth. It seems like they went with the previous version of this chapter kind of went, it's decided to kind of switch around the ideas, where I thought maybe we might go a little bit like in a similar way to like getting to the Saitama versus Garou fight. We kind of went like around a bit and we kind of had like a whole bunch of other stuff happen and then we got to it. I thought we would do a similar way where maybe we might take a different direction, maybe touch onto some stuff, and then come back around to like, you know, just the main event parts of Saitama and Garou's fight that probably are going to be translated from the webcomic to the actual manga. But it seems like they decided to streamline it a bit, and instead of going like all the way around, take the full scenic route, they decided to take slightly more express, but still a little bit scenic, you know, the middle route. And I'm, like I said, I kind of like the ending of the last chapter. I was kind of interested about psychology sessions with Saitama. But on the other hand, I got Big Stepper God running over to Garou to give him the dap up of godly power, and I would have never ever in my wildest dream have thought Garou was going to get Cosmic Drip to fight Saitama and lose. Imagine the fact that still Saitama's gonna punch Garou in his cosmic solar system ass face and he's still gonna lose. That's crazy. But that's neither here nor there. That's pretty much it for the chapter. I mean, there's a lot of theories that can be made about it. We can do a little bit more suggestions, thoughts, whatnot about it. Definitely do that in the comments. Do you have any more thoughts or any more, you know, your own opinions about what's going on with this, or the direction? Do you like the direction? Do you not like the direction? Whatever. But on that note, that ends the chapter. Leave a like if you like the video. Leave a dislike if you dislike the video. Like I said, comment. Feel free to comment. If you like my commentary on the chapter, you like my, I'll try to stay up to date with One Punch Man every single time there's a new chapter, because this manga deserves the hype. Obviously, I'm not the biggest channel talking about One Punch Man, but still, I think I need to give my opinion. And if you like my opinion, feel free to subscribe. I'll be here. And with that all being said, the doc is out.